Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Last day of this financial year. That's what it is. The last day. Good morning again. Good afternoon. And some of you are probably hearing me right now, and they are in next year. So, time travel. I like that. All right, let's take a look at it again as usual. We start off with the dollar index, but we've had a few people get very interesting over the last couple days, and they've jumped in, and we've gotten deeper involved in many more areas of the financial community that is usually skipped over, which is, I'm very happy to go and, just, I guess, explain or show you my understanding of markets after 45 years in all of the arenas, from the exchange floor to the hedge fund. I've gone from one to the other all the way up the ladder, so I have an idea of all their functionality. All right, now let's check out the dollar, and you can see there the dollar just perking up a little bit today. I know we were down like around par 25 yesterday. And then let's you see the same thing over here on beta. There's the beta. You can see it's higher there. Let me just exemplify it like so. And you can see right there it's about unched. I thought it was higher there for a second. It looked like it was higher. Let's take a look at it over here. Sometimes when I exemplify it or make it larger, it doesn't look as exact. Let's see, where am I at and where am I going? There we go. Right there. Let's take a look at it on another chart. It's just there. It showed to be like a gap up. I'm not sure what's going on with that. There's the 28th. That's the 20. Is that the 28th? Okay, so they're saying it settled at par 91 in the end with a low of par 32. And then today's low is par 79. So 32 from 79, it says 30. It's a 47 higher, basically. Now that's what it's showing there is the low and high. Okay, that makes more sense. And then when we look at it on the other chart system, you see the same exact thing. You see it leaning over just a little bit, not a lot, but it is leaning over. In other words, it's a little bit lower on at the moment of the close. See right there? And what they did is they started it higher. It was back over 101, and now it's at par 83, as you can see over here. And it's just down a little bit from that 91 settlement, or in that case there it says 92 settlement of last night. And so you can see it's still in the daily sell right there. And what is that? Oh, somehow or another we have, what has happened there? It doesn't have, let's get that in there. It's got the old expired December contract in there. Curious. Let's see. Let's get that fixed. I thought we had that fixed. It is amazing sometimes when you don't save it, and you're telling it to save, and it doesn't save it. All right, here we go. There we go. That's better. You can see that downwardly projection of the weekly. Oh, there it is. The weekly just heading down still. Still having work to do to get up and away. And the daily is getting close. That's interesting in its own right, with the daily trying to get close. But the weekly has no interest in it. Notice it's underneath the manifold. Even the fast is underneath the manifold right there. All right. Let's get back over to, there it is right there. There is the euro. You see the euro, now I want to go back to the great experiment. I think that was a great experiment. Where's it trading at right now? Oh, they blew through that thing. It did close at an all-time high last night. Let's see. Settlement was 65.78. And settlement last night was 64.55. Now it just missed closing at an all-time high. It looks like it was a physical all-time high of 32.89. What was this one here? 32.91. No, it did not. Didn't break either. But this morning, Obviously, they are doing it again. They've made another 33.37 all-time high, and I don't. We talked about this grow. Oh, there we go. Hey, Janos. Let's see. There's Robin. Ask about any market you wish future stocks, ETFs, forex. Yes. PayPal. What about PayPal? Outlook for next month. All right, let's go take a look at PayPal. I believe PayPal is one of the largest banks in the United States now, which says a lot. Let's see what we can do about getting PayPal on this thing here. Where do we go to do that? Let's see. Let me go find the symbol for PayPal. I think we'll put it right there. Oh, you know what? I don't think I need to. I honestly don't think I need to. I think I have a spot where we had FedEx. Let me put it into the spot where FedEx is. Yes, all. And I go like this. Right there. Does anybody know the symbol for PayPal? There we go. And there's Federal Express. You see it's done that bottoming thing, went into its daily buy right here. It's still in that weekly sell. I tried to get into a weekly sell and failed at it down in there. Let's remove that. Now let's put PayPal in there. Seek what's happening with Swiss. There, we can show you. While I'm looking for the PayPal symbol, we'll put the Swiss in there. Last I looked, the Swiss was making like a 2-year low, which was pretty cool. I mean, in other words, it was really strong. Look at it again this morning. Seems like it's some type of flight to away from the dollar. That's what it seems like. And they're using the Swiss, which is pretty cool. This is all short-term trading. It could be end-of-the-year adjustments. It's not really PayPal. PayPal. And the symbol is PayPal Holdings. PYPL. All right, let's put that in there. But there's the Swiss right there. You can see it. Can you see it? I think you can see it, yeah. You can see it right there down at the lows there, trying to go after yesterday's lows. In a daily sell since up in here, in a weekly sell since up in the 90s. So, whoa, what did I move? I moved something somewhere, didn't I? There. There we go. Is that the right one? I've blown that up somehow or another. We're going to close it and reopen it, so we don't have to close workspace. No. And then open the workspace. Yes. Okay, right there. There's your Swiss again. And then let me go put PayPal in. There we are. And there's that PayPal. I mean, there's the Swiss. We'll take a look at that, but you can see, as I said, we've been pushing very comfortably into this. When it's going down, it's gaining against the dollar because it's the dollar Swiss pair trade. If it's the Swiss dollar pair trade, when it's rising, it's gaining against the dollar. All right, now let's go back to there, and there. Activate. Okay, now all right. Instrument, add symbol. Let's get PayPal up there. And that symbol is, I just saw it. Where was it? PYPL. PYPL. And we'll put that in there, and we'll see what the PayPal looks like. I was looking at Citi yesterday. I think yesterday or the day before, we got into a conversation about some of the, Credit Suisse just paid another fine too. It's just like, it's been bought by UBS and all, but they're still trying to clean up the mess that they, the issues that they had, I guess you could say. And so, and then I started comparing like Deutsche Bank, Citibank, Credit Suisse, all these major banks that have gone nowhere over the decades because they're pretty much bankrupt. And just like Lloyd's of London and so forth, or when someone says Merrill Lynch, they're not looking at the old Merrill Lynch. It's gone. It's owned by Bank of America now. And there's PayPal. So you can see PayPal went into a daily buy right there at the 62 area. It's been in a weekly buy since back in here in the 56 area. It's not that, doesn't seem like it's that aggressive a product. There's an interesting thing there. You can see PayPal went into the weekly sell. It was in I guess a weekly sell up in here in the 75 area, and stayed in there all the way down to, I guess it was like went down to 57 or 58, climbed back up to 65, and then went into a weekly buy one week and then rolled right back over again. And so from the 63 area, it traded all the way down to the 50 area, and then it tried to turn up again, and it goes into the buy there. You can see that, and then, I mean, it's very sloppy. There's the buy there. There's the buy right there. There's the sell right there. Let's see. The next sell was right there. Yeah. It goes right back into the buy there. And then let's grab this. Let's grab somebody's sell. Let's see. Let's do this. Put it in there. There is the sell right there. But you don't take the sell because it's in a weekly buy. So let's grab that buy right there. And it zigzags around and then goes back into a sell right there. And again, you don't take the short. You only do the buys. But that buy gave you a chance to make money. And then if you didn't have your stops and so forth, then you give away all your profits. And then there's your buy again right there. Oop, right there. And so there's PayPal. I have to say I don't remember looking at PayPal that much, besides using it. And so at this point it's a real choppy product. Look at that. I mean, it is a real choppy product. It doesn't. There's a little bit smoother action. But at the time, it goes into the weekly buy right there also. So that's where the weekly buy is. Let's put that in there. There we are. And that's where it went into the buy in the 56 area. Got to what was that? The six? Is that 60 something area? 63, yeah, right in there. 64.13. All right. I hope that answered your question on the PayPal. And when it comes to what was it? Seek. What it really comes down to is that it's the end of the year. A lot of this is noise today. You really don't even want to be trading. You want to be in a neutral position for Tuesday, because taxes and all. We've talked about this. How taxes influence the market. What they do, how they move it. What you're forced to do and liquidate and buy and all that other stuff. So this is not a day or two to be involved in the market. Luckily, you notice it's pretty dead. Oh, what's the Wilson? The J4X platform is a sleek, neat trading terminal, and I really love it. Oh, well, that's good. Can you also update us about the S&P 500 index? Let's take a look and see. Let's see what the S&P is looking like this morning. Here's the futures contract right there. And it's trying to roll over a little bit. But again, notice the market overall is trying to be quiet. And it does, it goes on these long, quiet tours, barely moving, just enough to keep everybody involved. And so, we have gone, and in many ways, let's widen this out more. We really have gone from the 4,400 area to the 4,800 area in literally 2 months. That's a pretty great move. Matter of fact, I saw for the month so far, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is something up like 4.4%, and the S&P 500 is up something like 5.5%, and then the Nasdaq or the Tech 100 is up 4.6%. So it has been outperforming the other two major indexes. What else can we say about S&Ps? We've been in the long weekly buy. Let's just scrunch it up. We've been in that long weekly buy since the 44-ish area in here. What is that? That's 43-ish. 4,386. Basically, it's been in the buy area. So basically 4,400. So it's, caught the whole nice move on the way up. It's been soft and steady, and it hasn't been much of a problem. What else can we say about that? You can see the same thing when we throw it up on J4X right here. There. And there it's been the same way on there. It's been a nice, strong bounce up. And you see here they're making the challenge of what is that, 21? The end of 2021, they've climbed all the way back up to that spot. So what was that? That was at the end of the Trump administration, right there. So I guess you could say, yeah, that's 21 or no? That's 20. Yeah, that's right, because Biden took over January 6th of 21. So that was the market. Guess the only way I look at it is I think that the markets are going to be trying to be more firmer. I'll tell you this: I think that there's some pressure on the markets. We'll see in the first couple of days and the first week how the markets act and how our weekly numbers tell us and so forth. But I would assume that I get this feeling that there's a major confusion. Oh, look at that! They're out there surfing today. Yep. They must have the wetsuits on out on the ocean here. There's a lot of pressure on the stocks themselves because they don't want to sell them, but they have profits in them, and they need to balance their portfolios because of what? Taxes, of course, and because of that, they're waiting for, the Fed funds future is showing a cut of over 6 times of, 6 1/4 cuts or a quarter percent cuts 6 times, going all the way out into the end of summer, basically, or midsummer. And so there's a lot of money managers out there that can't believe that they're going to cut more than twice or 3 times total, if at all, because the economy doesn't need stimulating it, because of all the taxation that's going on. It's it's not. I mean, it does. The economy needs to grow, but the way they want to do it is a little bit differently. They want to tax to do it, and that's confusing. So yeah, the S&P. Let's just see how they act over the next week or two. Okay. With the dollar so down, stocks moving sideways means that the values are actually down. Yeah, I guess, but we looked at that last couple of days. The dollar's not down that much. Let's put the dollar up on this. Let's show you what the dollar looks like. We'll go to J4X for it. And there's the dollar index. And then when we go look at it a year ago, matter of fact, there is January of last year. See that across here? It's pretty much the same price, I mean, we've gone up, we've gone down, we've gone up, we've gone down, we've gone up, and that's not an all-time high. The all-time high is way back here in 2022. What's that? September of 22. The dollar was all the way up to that point. It would have been climbing and climbing and climbing. It's not. I don't see the dollar as really down that much. I think it's at fair value or maybe a little bit overpriced. That's about it. And where I see the undervalued would be in the 90s, like down in here at 89 and 90 and 92 and things like that. So I don't look at the dollar as like enormously overpriced, and I don't see it right now as at all. It's not underpriced, but it's just a little overpriced at the moment. And how do I define that? Let me just say is because it's the index is trading at 101, as you can see right here in the big green box. It's trading at 1.90. So I mean at 1 point even, I think that's fair value. 98 starts to bring it to undervalued, and so the zero line is right there, the century mark, or the 100 mark, as we would say. So stocks, I guess you could say, when you really look at the stock market, when you look at the stock market, it's up at the top end of the range because there's nowhere else to put money. We had this conversation yesterday and the day before about the idea of zero interest rates and quantitative easing era that we are in since 2009, at the end of 2008. So because of that, the undervalued, overvalued fundamentals, trying to understand. I heard someone this morning say that for the longest while, the Democrat Party used to say in this country, our socialists that is, that gross domestic product does not represent growth in an economy. So, in other words, how else can you measure things if you have €10 in your pocket, or $10 in your pocket, or 10 saltines in your pocket, or 10 pounds in your pocket. If the next day you have 11 pounds in your pocket, or 11 saltines, or $11, or €11, you have more. If you have 9 in your pocket the next day, you have less. So I don't know, sometimes our socialists having strange things, they say strange ideas, they don't make a lot of sense. So a lot of people, like in our financial media, which is a disaster anymore, the U.S. financial media is more of misinformation than it is in financial data itself. And so only time shows who is accurate and who is not. In other words, when you hear them say something and then 3 weeks later or 3 months later, things are not where they said they were going to be because of X, you know that it's misinformation or spin. And so right now, most of like Bloomberg, CNBC, Reuters, AP, all the liberal newspapers, or the leftist newspapers in our countries, like the Washington Post or the New York Times, all have the same spin. They say the same thing. They don't deviate. They're all got this very strange way of looking at numbers, and they massage the numbers, they paint the numbers, they twist the numbers. Like when it came to recession, we went into the recession, we had 2 quarters of minus GDP, and they refused to accept that we were in a recession. So when it comes to trying to say, is the dollar undervalued or overvalued, right now, as far as I'm concerned, just because of the numbers on the screen, it's a little overvalued still. Now, are the stocks benefiting from that undervalued or overvalued situation? I'd imagine on some level, but you have to imagine more than anything else, if you don't have two separate currencies, you can't measure their gain or loss. So in other words, you have to measure it against something. And so, to me, the dollar is strong. The stocks are strong because they have nowhere else to go. In other words, where are you going to go? Where are you going to buy, $1 billion worth of stock and not have much influence on the whole marketplace itself? Okay, with the dollar so down, stocks. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the same question. All right, yeah. So I think I'm making, a clear statement about comparisons, how to understand the real data versus the spin and the misinformation. And that's really what's going on all the time, is we get that misinformation, and it doesn't go away. It's just a perpetual of fake political spin, trying to, like Mr. Biden right now. Here's a perfect example of what I'm saying. Mr. Biden is walking around saying that the media is not reporting the news correctly. and he's saying everything is fine. The economy is fine. And they've picked up 5 million more jobs or something like that, when in fact I understand that we haven't picked up 5 million more jobs. But he says it, and because he says it, and the New York Times reports it, and the Washington Post reports it, and all the corporate media reports it, and and all the corporate media that controls most of the financial channels reports it, doesn't make it true. It just is a spin. So, misinformation is the battle we fight every day of financial news. And that's the real disappointment part of it. And that is a brutal one. Yep, that's what it comes down to. Okay, I hope I helped you there, Siak. And we saying, I hope you got what you wanted from the S&P 500 from us. But to me, I look at these things realistically. Time is your friend. Numbers are your friend. They will, in the end, keep you in the right direction, and that's the most important thing of all. All right, let's do what we do here for the last day of the year, and that is answer questions, and we'll run and gun the products. We'll take a look at where we at now. We're just still at the dollar index itself. There we go. Blew my nose. So now, let's take a look at. Let's see. Now, what did I see there? Something looked like it disappeared. Okay, so there it is. Let's take a look at the euro. And there is the euro right there. And let's take a look at it on a big screen, how it acted this year. So the euro this year went from December, the end of December of last year, basically, or, where's it at? Right, all the way up to right there. Look at what it does, that box. It's all right. There it is, right there. So, I mean, we're a little bit higher. We're just a little bit higher there. I'm trying to see what that is. That's the 107 area. That's what that is, the 107. And today we are sitting in the 110, almost the 111 area. So it's up about four full points, for the year. Which is pretty good. 4 handles, as we like to say in the trading floor. And that is the euro. Now, let's shrink that back down. And we'll take a look at it over here and see how the euro is acting. Right there. You can see it's been in a daily buy right there. It's been in a weekly buy all the way back in here. Right in here. So it's been a really good end of the year. And they've been pushing dollar down and taking euro up. You have to have something on the opposite side of every trade. So for every buyer, there's a seller. For every pairs trade, there's 2 currencies. And so sometimes you can use 3 or 4. You can use a basket on one side and another product on another, depending on what your objective is. Cable. There's the cable. And let's see what the cable has done over here. There it is right there. We'll put it all, give you a big flavor of it all. And there is the cable right there. And so we are in the 121.22 area. And we are now in the 127 area. So and the high this year was 131. Which, and I think at the time Euro was 114. So we've seen some real interesting strength in the euro. And we've seen even more strength in the British pound. Now let's take a look at it over here. It's like the year-end roundup. All right. Okay, we already put it in there. Let's put it in there again. There it is. There's cable. And so, You can see here now, cable's been in a buy since the 121 area, or like kind of where we started. So interesting, it went into the buy just like the euro at where it started last year on a weekly basis and has climbed. And it's been a little bit choppier, but not bad, from the 121ish area up to the 128 area. And traders, glad to answer any questions. We can stop what we're doing and go check out other products. And here you go. Who was it that asked for? Was it Sing? There it is. Siak. Siak was asking about the Swiss. We looked at the Swiss, but now we'll look at it even deeper in the sense that we'll look where it started the year at and see how much it's doing way better than the other products. I can tell you that. I know that because of how bad things were in Switzerland back in where's it at? There it is, right there. There was that top of 101 and change, and then they finally resolved the problem with Swiss bank, and so it was right there in the 92, 93 area after coming down literally from the 101 and a half area, and that was at the end of last year. And so 92, we are at 83 right now. What a great move it's been in the dollar Swiss pairs trade. And let's put it up over here. Right there. You can see that right there. You can see that the it's been in that weekly sell. Let's tighten this up a little bit. It's been in that weekly sell now since right there. And that's kind of interesting. That's the 90-ish area, 91 area, right in here. And we see that this started the year off in the 92 area, 91 and a half, 92 and a half area, which is interesting. So when it went into the weekly sell, on our math, it did the same thing. You know what? To pay attention to that next year. Take a look at the lows and the highs, and where they see where they started this year, and then look and see where a weekly takes off from there. And maybe that actually emphasizes, and in some way we could do that right now, I guess. Could we do that right now? I'm thinking, do we do that with the S&P 500 for, who asked about the S&P 500? I think it was Wiesen. We could probably take a look at that and see where it started, and then see when it went into the weekly buy, and see if it was the same spot as where they had started the year, which would be very interesting. I think we'll try that when we're going to go all the way out to the stock indice. That's where we'll end it, and so we'll try doing that there. So we're going to do that on all the products. I think that's a really insightful characteristic to look at. All right, so who's next on the hit parade here? Let's go take a look at the yen. Woo, that should be very interesting on the yen. What a calamity that has been, huh? Woo. Okay, so there it is right there. There it is right there. And there is the 23 right there. So it started off in the 37 area. And that's interesting. Now in this case here, we went into the weekly sell. Let's show it to you there. So we went into the weekly sell. Right there. Up in the 150 area. So in that case there, it's definitely not acting like the other products have. Now we know why that's happening. Okay, we know what the force that's forcing the yen. We understand that. And that is all that LDP party problems. So they've lost the finance minister. They got a new head of the bank over the last 12 months. They lost the finance minister at the top of this market right here, where you see this 151, the 35 or the 45-year high. They lost 5 ministers in their government. They've lost. Matter of fact, somebody yesterday, a judge was arrested or indicted or something like that. It's like there's been some type of fundraising scheme or something. I don't know, selling influence, And once they identified it and started punishing people for it, you can see how the currency dropped dramatically in favor of itself. So in other words, when this is going down, it's gaining against the dollar. So when we look at the yen, we know why the yen is so distorted versus all those other products. Now from there, what will the Turkish lira look like out of this? That'll be very interesting. Okay, now there's the Turkish lira. Woo, and that's something. We talked about the 33 area, and what can we say about it now? I don't really have. I was using that 33 area out of a Fibonacci, what they call a linear approximation formula, and so we came up with the 32.5, 33 area by using that on the Turkish lira through our math. Using the math as a basis. Now, when we look at the Turkish lira for the year, let's see what we got going on here. So there is December of right there, and the Turkish lira was at the 20 area, and it's going up over 56% for the year. So the Turkish lira has moved up into the 33 area, 33 area from the 20 area. So we're looking at over a 50% move on the upside for the year. And so 20. And now I know for a fact when we go back to my chart right here, we've been in the weekly buy since September, I think it is. And that was September, early September, and the product was trading in the 29 area. So the correlate, looking at the yearly action, and let's take a look at what happened at that price in the product. There's the 29 area right here after this big jump up, and then they increased doubled interest rates right there. So that's the 29 area. That's the only thing we see that could be even remotely identifiable as anything that would have any influence on the product on a longer term view. But right now, I would say that between the yen and the Turkish lira, it doesn't match any of the other pairs we've looked at so far, which is interesting. All right, now from there, we'll go over to where will we go over to? Oh, you know what I need? I need my phone. I just realized I don't have my phone in case someone's been trying to call me. Text me and tell me. I thought it was kind of quiet. Let me go grab my phone. Let's grab his phone. Be right back. Okay, we're back. And nobody rang, so that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. All right. So now we go to where do we go here? Okay, so now we're trying to find. I guess we would go to the South African rand, another one that's tangled in politics. Where the president of the country did something wrong, and they've been fighting with him ever since, and he refuses to resign, and they don't have enough laws to impeach him, or they don't have the power to impeach him, or something of that nature. Let's see, right there. Now, let's see. South African rand started the year at, let's put it up on the screen all the way, like that. So the rand started off right here in the, what is that? The 116, almost 117 area. Okay. And let me just show you, what was it? I guess it was here. Where was it that the politics, excuse me, jumped in? Let's see. I think that's where the politics jumped in too. All this move up when we were complaining that it wasn't matching the gold. That's they found over $500,000 in cash in the president's office. I think that's it right there. I thought it was December. I thought it was in here where it started to take off, but I don't know. We'll have to look it up. But in this case here, for the whole year, the South African rand started off in the 17s. It's in the the high 18s at this point. I think that's what it is. The high 18s, mid 18s. So it's not that bad. Let's put it this way: people in Turkey would be wishing for stuff like that, for that low of volatility. Now let's look at it over here. Right there. And so there is, it's been in and out of weekly buys and sells, and now it's flirting with a weekly sell again. It's going to go into, let's steal this one. It's going to close in the weekly sell right there, with no problem, which is usually bullish on the metals complex. And so that's the most important thing out of it all, is that the South African, what are we trying to do here? Like that. South African Rand, is the South African Rand is, let's just cancel that right there, is showing some life, I guess, in a positive way. Just the fact that it's going sideways here, and it's been doing that for months. It's made some highs out of it, and no doubt it's up into the 19s. Like I said, people in Turkey would be begging to have a currency that would act like this. As far as they're concerned, that would be perfect. Barely budging between 19.5 and 17.5 for a whole year. Wouldn't it be nice to see the Turkish lira hang around 32.5 to 29.5 for a whole year? Wouldn't that be nice? Talk about stability. Wouldn't that be nice? What else can we say about it? But that is the South African Rand, and what we do is we usually look at the metals complex at this point. So let's jump over there and see how they acted for the year. What's up with that? Let's move that like that. And let's put right there, we'll put gold in there. There it is right there. There's gold. And gold for the year, right, almost there. There it is, basically. And there is, okay, right there. So basically, gold was at 17. What is that? 17. Basically, it was about almost at 1,800 for the year. And let's see if we tighten it up. And now we're trading at basically 21. We're right around 21. You can see it up there. It's $2,063. So between 18 and 21, basically, and it made an all-time high of 21.45 right there. And so overall, what is that? That's a 10%, 11% move for the year. That's not too dramatic. That doesn't show money scared to death or anything like that. Wait till we look at Bitcoin. That'll be interesting to see. I really think of, I think that's really the true indication of everything is, you look at Bitcoin, you look at the stock indices, and then you look at the metals complex. So you see a 10% increase there, and we had I guess you could say the dollar index came from, where were we at? The 107, 108 area, and we're down at the 101. So that had something like a 4 or 5% loss. So gold went up almost twice as much as gold dollar went down. So that's not too bad. It'd be different if it was like they were equal. So in other words, the dollar is not as weak as you would think. It should be down 10% for the year, and it's only down about 5% for the year. And that's against gold. And then when we look at against what was it? Euro. What was the euro? Euro was 107, and now it's at 110, and the dollar index is at 107, and now is at 101. So it's kind of stuck in between. They're all moving around in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% area, bouncing around. So it's not uniformed. All right, then from there, let's shrink this down, and we go over to see gold here on our platform, like so. There you go. And so you can see right there, it's trying to get into a sell this morning. Uh, we talked about it yesterday. I really think that they painted the tape in November and December when it comes to the metals complex. I mean, I really think they were buying it and pushing it hard to get the prices up for taxation and showing their portfolios and all that by the central banks. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about individual and traders or funds, hedge funds and so forth. I'm talking about we had 5 central banks pushing on the stock market here in the states. They bought $350 billion worth of stocks, and I think they were buying gold with it, and they pushed them all up. All right. From there, we will take a peek at. Let's see, where's it at? Right there, and that's silver. Been in the daily sell now for, is this 5 days? No, 4 days now, and looks like with no problem, it's going to close in the weekly sell at this point. So, let's remove that and save that. There you go, right there. So there it is right there. And then from the silver, we go to the copper. Now copper, let's see where, you know what? We didn't look at silver for the year. Let's take a look at silver for the year up on J4X. And then we'll go to the copper. Okay, so here it is in December in the 24 area, basically 23, 24 area. Okay, and here we are now trading at the, where are we at now? Let's go back to silver real quick. And we're right there. We're unchanged for the year when it comes to silver. And then now let's put copper up there. Let's see. There it is, copper right there. Now copper, I'm going to put it up over here. And there it is there. Copper started the year off right around here in the 380 area. We ran up to 4 and change when they thought that China was going to, pull us out of the slower market. Didn't seem to happen rightly. And we're still basically just a little bit higher than when we started in January, right there. We're just a little bit, couple cents. And then let's look at it over here. And there's the copper. It went into the buy in the 380-ish area weekly. Basically playing with that beginning of the year number. And we've been in that weekly buy now, as you can see right here, for 7 weeks. And it doesn't look like it's going to quit either. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere in particular, but it was interesting to see it. They tried to mark it up. Wouldn't it be something if they sell some of this metals complex down going into the new year because they marked it up for their portfolios? That's what we refer to as window dressing. Okay, and then last but not least, over here in the metals complex, we'll look at, there it is right there. You can see the platinum. And the platinum is, as we've been saying for weeks now here, how anybody could even think about shorting this product, I don't know. Because it's so low. It's what's it, 50% cheaper than gold? I mean, wow. That's really weird. So, there is the platinum. And there's the strength in it. All right, from there, we go over to the energy sector, which will be very interesting. Let's take a look at Brent for the year. And there is the December right there. So Brent was basically was around $84, $85, and now we're actually under for the year. So we're going to be finishing the year off at a low. Not a low, but underneath where it started last year. Over here, we'll show you West Texas, and then I'm going to show you where we stand today with Brent on our beta platform. There's West Texas. And you can see here West Texas is flirting with getting into that daily buy. And I'm sorry, not daily buy. It's flirting with the weekly buy. And it's in a daily sell from yesterday. But again, now we're talking about a product that has incredibly different volatile characteristics. In many ways, it's think about it. The product went minus during the good years in Mr. Trump's administration. Oil, actually, people paid one day, were paying as much as $39 minus for people to take the contract because they didn't have, there was too much oil around, and so no, it went below zero. People paid you to take the delivery of oil. All right, now from there, we go from there over to natural gas. Let's put natural gas up. Oh, and let me just show you Brent. Where's Brent? Right there. Wait a minute. Yeah. Whoop. There should be Brent, isn't it? BZ. Let's find the BZ. BZ. Right there. So that is BZ. And it's, no, that's not right. What's up with this thing? Go back. Trade. There. And BZ. Some reason it's not updating. Interesting. All right. From there, there's AMD. AMD there is at the 150 area. That's interesting. So there it is with the crude. Let's finish this off with, what are we finishing this off with? We are finishing this off with the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. And we'll see how that plays out, like so. And that will tell us the whole show from there. All right, now, let's see. There is the S&P 500 up on J4X. Right there. Throw that up like so. And as we said earlier about it, there it is. It began the year in the, where's that, the 3,800 area, and we're at the 4,800 area at the moment. So that's pretty good. And the product, it's been it's over 1,000 points up for the year. Brilliant, And while we're here, let's see what, that's a 25%, almost a 25% increase. I told you it was like 24 and change. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. Right there, there's Bitcoin. And Bitcoin started off the year Bitcoin started off the year in the 16, is it 17? Yes, 18,000 area, and it's finishing off the year at the 42, almost 43 area. So it is up over 100% for the year. So 36 would be 100%. So it's up about 118% for the year. Not bad. So, and we've been in the weekly buy. I'll show you where that's at. Let's see. Right here. Right there. Let's make this the whole screen like that. And there is the S&P. And it's been in that weekly buy, back in the 4,400 area. So it's not matching up to 3,800. I guess that's half of it or something like that, almost. And then let's look at the Bitcoin right there. All right. Is that cool or what? All right, traders. Looks like I'll see you all next year, same time, same channel. That will be on Tuesday of next week. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart New Year's. We will see you in 4 days. Ta-ta for now.